Hi guys, and welcome to Escape with Watch Reviews. My name is Steve, and today we're going to be reviewing the Cronos model L6031M. I purchased this watch with my own money, but no matter how I get a watch in for review, you're going to get my honest opinion every single time. And if by the end of this review you want to pick one of these up, I'm going to be leaving a link down in the video description. That is an affiliate link, so if you do use that link, I really appreciate it. It earns me a little bit of commission, helps keep the channel running, and helps keep getting in watches like these. So I really do appreciate the continued support. It doesn't cost you guys anything extra either, so it's an easy way for you guys to support the channel. The retail price for this watch is about $190 US. That's a rough guess. It's kind of hard to tell now that tariffs are included. Yeah, that's before any taxes, tariffs, VAT, discounts, anything like that. I purchased this pre-tariffs and on sale for about $165 US. The watch comes in this black dial here and this blue dial here, which also looks really, really nice. The watch case is made of 316L stainless steel. It has a sapphire crystal with anti-reflective coating, a screw-down crown, screw-down case back, 100 meters of claimed water resistance. You got Swiss BGW9 Lume on the dial and the hands, and the watch is powered by the PT5000, or you can upgrade to a Sellita SW200 for about $125 US. So I reviewed the previous version for this watch. I'll leave the link up for it up here. That one had the Miyota 8215 and a different logo. I ended up selling that watch, and I kind of regretted selling it ever since. Cronos updated this one with a PT5000, and then they updated the logo, and that kind of sealed the deal for me. So I went and had to pick this one up before the tariffs kicked in. I'm happy to have it back in the collection, and I know you guys are excited to see this review. This was a highly requested review by you guys, so I say we get right into it. But before we do a quick wrist check today, wearing the Fairsuit chronograph Daytona-ish looking thing, Trackmaster, that's what it's called. Again, I'll leave the review link for that up here. Absolutely awesome, and they did just release a couple new colors for this one too, so yeah, really nice. All right, let's get into dimensions. Got a diameter of just under 39 millimeters, case thickness of 10.9 millimeters, a standard 20 millimeter lug width, lug tip to lug tip of 47.3, and link to end link is 49.4, and sized up for my 7.5 inch wrists with one link removed. It weighs 137 grams. So size wise for me, it's pretty much a sweet spot. 39 millimeters by 47 millimeters, 137 grams, so it's not too heavy. Feels solid though. The case on this, as was pretty typical with these style of cases, they're pretty flat, but this one does have a little bit of hook down or turn down to those lugs. So yeah, I do like that. I like the small crown. It doesn't dig into the wrist or anything like that. I'm overall very happy with the way this watch wears. So I'm going to go outside right now and throw it on my wrist for you. And here we are on my 7.5 inch wrist, and I can easily pull this off. You got no issues with the sizing. You can see there, decently flat case, but it does have a little bit of turn down to the lugs. It sits real flat on the wrist because of the flat case back. But yeah, I mean, it just looks great. The polished bezel looks great. The deep black, glossy black dial does throw some reflections here and there, but the crystal keeps it nice and legible. I just think it looks great. Very comfortable too, very balanced on the wrist. And here we are in some direct sunlight. I'm sorry, I can't really see the screen, so hopefully it's showing off nicely for you guys there. There's, the air coating is doing a really nice job. I mean, it's just a deep glossy black dial, so there's a little bit of extra reflections just because of the glossy dial, but yeah, it's still just looking really, really good. All right, let's go throw this on some straps and let's get back to this review. And here we are on a sailcloth strap, just black with white stitching. I'll leave the link for these down below. Nice little straps for like 10 bucks and super comfortable. I think they look pretty darn good on this one. And here we are on a Hemsuit dark brown vintage leather strap. Awesome straps. Again, leave the link for that down below. But I think, a black Explorer on a vintage brown strap, I think looks awesome. That's just me though. And here we are on a cut to size FKM in kind of this muted green color, which I just think looks awesome with the black dial. Super, super comfortable. These will be linked down below as well. And here we are on a Marine National style strap or elastic strap, parachute strap, whatever you want to call them. There's one layer underneath the watch there, and you can still see that it sits right down on the wrist, so a nice flat case back. Yeah, really, really a nice, simple color combo, super comfortable. And lastly, here we are on a mustard yellow strap, NATO strap, nylon strap from CNS Watch Bands. There's 2 layers underneath the watch there. It's still sitting very nice. There's a little bit of a strap clearance issue with this watch. The spring bars are pretty close to the case, but I was able to get all these straps on without an issue. But if you have a thicker leather strap, you might be a little concerned with it rubbing against the case. So I think other than that, though, go crazy. It's a strap monster. All right, let's get back to this review. All right, so let's talk about the case finishing. And case finishing is done the same way the Rolex is. So you have vertical brushing on the tops of the lugs, nice and consistent, as is kind of the standard with Cronos watches. Their finishing is very, very nice. You can see it matching the bracelet perfectly there. You have a high polished bezel, which looks fantastic. No issues with that, no waviness or anything like that. Flipping it to the case sides, you have fully high polished case sides. Something you got to get used to. They do pick up fingerprints and little scratches, but again, that's just kind of what you expect with this style of watch. You have a 6mm signed screw down crown there. Again, looking really good. Nice grip on it too. Yeah, it's a very nice crown and not overly big or anything like that. If anything, it might be a little too small, but it's really not that bad to operate even with my big sausage fingers there. So I do like the case finishing on this. I think they did a very nice job with it. You can see the sides of the case. They aren't like a straight side cut. It is kind of rounded, so you get some nice light play off of the case there. The transitions between brushing and polishing, nice and crisp. Really just nice and crisp. They did an excellent job on this case. Flipping it over to the case back here, you see you have a screw down case back in that typical Rolex style. I'm not a big fan of that. Got some vertical brushing here, circular brushing on the rest of the case back. And then the underside of the lugs here, you can see they actually have some sort of a numbering system, H31, and they actually have numbering on the bottom of the end links too. So I'm not sure why they did that and what that means, but obviously it's some sort of a serial number type of deal. So just something I thought I would mention. The bottom edge of the case, it's a little bit sharp, but you can tell that they kind of took care to knock that down a little bit. It hasn't been uncomfortable for me. The only real sharp part that I've seen on this case are the inside of these lugs, which they're hidden, especially when you have the bracelet on. The inside of those lugs are a little bit sharp. You can see that they actually, oh, there you go. You can see that they actually knocked down the outer edge corner, but not the inside one. So, yeah, I mean, for the most part, the case is very nicely finished. No sharp edges, no uncomfortable bits or anything like that. And yeah, the finishing on it, the brushing and polishing is done to a really high standard. All right, so let's talk about the crystal. I did test it. It is positive for sapphire, and it's a flat sapphire crystal. As you can see here, it sticks up above the bezel a little bit. It's got a nice big chamfer on it, though, so it does give some light play on the edges there, which is kind of cool. But yeah, it's a good crystal. It's a really good crystal, clear anti-reflective coating. I always say a flat sapphire crystal does not need air coating. I don't think Rolex puts it on theirs, so the fact that it is on here, yeah, just kind of icing on the cake. It's a really good crystal. I mean, it's yeah, really happy with it. All right, so let's talk about the dial on the watch. So the dial, very classic layout, 3, 6, and 9 numerals, triangle at 12, and batons everywhere else. Everything is applied, and it is applied very, very nice. The quality of the indices on this watch are just excellent, really, really good. And then you have that inky black glossy dial. It just looks fantastic. Looks really, really good. Yeah, there's not a whole lot to say on it. I do really like the new logo. So you have the hourglass logo, which is kind of filled in with paint there with the Cronos text under it. Simple automatic 100 meters down there at the 6 o'clock. The handset that they used, I think it's a little bit undersized. I think the minute hand is fine, but the hour hand looks like it was just ripped straight off of a sub Homage or something like that. They could have gone with a slightly bigger hour hand, and I think it would have made a little bit better proportions. The seconds hand looks great, reaching right out past the minute track there. I've got no real complaints with it. I mean, just the applied aspects on this dial are just excellent. You can see The printing on the minute track there, centered nicely in the dial opening. The rehout on this one, not too deep either, so that's nice to see. Yeah, I mean, it's just, they did a really nice job on the dial and the lume. I'm going to pop up a lume shot here. You can see against a couple other watches in the collection. And it's really strong. It lasts all night long, super easy to read in the middle of the night. I took my old one camping with me, and I had no trouble reading this in the middle of the night when I was camping. So, yeah, I'm really happy with the lume on it. It's that BGW9, so it's that ice blue glow, and it's white during the daytime. So it's nice and crisp looking in the daytime. And, yeah, it just looks excellent. All right, so talking about the movement here, so we have an option of a PT5000 or the Swiss Solida SW200. This one is the PT5000. They're both clones of the ETA 2824, so 28,800 beats per hour, so 8 ticks of the second hand every second. They hack the hand wind, they have a bidirectional winding rotor, and they have roughly 40 hours of power reserve. They do everything you need it to do. I've never had an issue with a PT5000 movement. I try not to hand wind it as much as possible because that is a failure point of the movement, but for the most part, I've never had an issue with the PT5000. This one's been running pretty good for me. You can see here, this is dial up. It's running a little slow, but throughout the day, it kind of evens out. So I'm really happy with the accuracy on this one. The movement is operated by this 3 o'clock screw down crown. Again, it's a little small. That's my only complaint. A little bit small there, but not horrible. It does give a little pop out there for the first position, which is your hand winding, which again, don't try and do as much as possible. Second position, this is your date position, but they removed everything, and I actually struggled to get it into this position. So they did remove all the feeling, all the clicks, and got rid of all the components for the date there. So you pull it out to the final position here, it hacks the movement. This is where you set your time. Everything functions as it should. The alignment is spot on the hands. You push it in, it starts up the movement, and then you screw it in, and it is in true Cronos fashion. It is one of those crowns where it's kind of spring loaded, and when you're screwing it in, you're now actually winding the movement. So it's just ultra buttery smooth. So really happy with the crown action on it, really happy with the movement in it. All right, so let's talk about the bracelet. So pretty standard bracelet from Cronos. I don't have any gaps in this one like I had in my previous one, so that might be something that they fixed. You can see the end links, they follow the case curvature just perfectly there. Nice solid spring bars in there too as well. You do have male end links, so you have this kind of protruding part here, but the rest of the end link is kind of sunken in a little bit, so it really doesn't protrude all that much from the lug tip. So yeah, it's still relatively short. It's a nice bracelet. It's a 3-link, solid links. You have screws for adjusting. I removed 1 link for my 7.5-inch wrist. It's 20 millimeters tapering down to 16 millimeters, which is kind of standard for this. You can see the finishing on the bracelet. Really nice luster and kind of sheen to that brushed stainless steel. Polishing on the sides here. The bottom edge of this is not sharp at all. They've rounded that off very nicely. The fluidity of the bracelet has been fine. It doesn't pull hairs or anything like that. So yeah, there's not a whole lot to complain about. This is a good 3-link style of bracelet. The clasp here, it's kind of your Rolex style of clasp. It's unbranded, which is kind of unusual. I wish I would see the hour logo there or something. A little bit too sterile for me for this price range at least. I'm not a huge fan of these clasps, but this one actually works pretty good. There's no sharp edges either. The back edges here have been rounded off nicely. Front edges, same thing, and the bottom edge of it has been nicely rounded off too. You can see there's no micro adjust holes here, but we'll get to that in just a second. So it's your typical Rolex style. So just you flip over this lock here. There's a lot of play in this thing. You can see that right there. That kind of cheapens the feel of this. So just something to know. It hasn't ever been an issue where it doesn't open or close on its own, but just something to note. Lift up on that edge there. You can see fully milled on the inside, fully polished. There's no branding in here anywhere. The tolerances are pretty good. And then you do have a full on-the-fly system, so you pull that down and you can adjust it there. So it works pretty good. There's a little bit of grittiness to it, but I feel like the more you use it, the better it's going to feel. And then it allows you to get the perfect fit. So I'm pretty happy with that. The clasp itself, pretty low profile, and size-wise, fits the watch head and balances it out nicely. So yeah, I do like the bracelet on this. It's not the best that I've had, a 3-link style bracelet, but it's far from the worst. Totally usable, and I think it looks great on it. So there you go, guys. That is the Cronos model L6031M. You might see this with the Miyota 8215 or 8315. You might also see this with the NH35. I believe the mid case is the same throughout. I think it's the same mid case on all of them. I think they just throw on a little bit of a thicker case back depending on which movement you get. So this is going to be the thinnest one, but the other ones, it doesn't add much thickness. I think it's only like a 0.5 millimeter of thickness difference. So yeah, I just wanted this one because it's the thinnest. Maybe the rehout is a little bit thinner. I'm not really sure, but either way, no matter what movement you choose, you're going to get a really nice Explorer homage. I mean, this has got to be one of the best modern Explorer homages out there, in my opinion. So I'm really happy with it. It's going to be in the collection for a while, I think. We'll see. I'm kind of trying to drift away from Rolex homages or clomages. So yeah, we'll see. But I really do like it and I enjoy it for what it is. So yeah, I think you guys will too. It's a heck of a value. Cronos is kind of the value king now, in my opinion. So yeah, really happy with the watch. I think you guys will be too. Thanks a lot for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. See ya.